muna siya, then file a motion to quash. Of course, the prosecution would also fight it out. No, it is not quashable. So, kailangan po, meron talagang matibay na reason sa pag-file the motion to quash para ma-immediately resolve. Yan ang pinakamabilis, no? And I think it may be resolved in, opinion ko lang to, siguro in a month's time. Pero tatakbo na ang impeachment proceedings ni BP Inday. Marami na siyang hindi na masalihan doon. Now, the other remedy ginagawa yung iba is that pag once na na-arrest na or nag-surrender, mag-file sila na tatawag na petition for bail. Matagal yan. Kasi kung mag-file sila ng petition for bail, mag-hearing. You have to present evidence. Ang prosecution will be presenting evidence. And magko-cross-examine. Parang nagkaroon ng trial proceeding ba for purposes of determination on whether or not i-grant ang bail. Take note that even if it is a non-bailable offense, when the evidence of guilt is not strong, the accused may file a petition for bail. Ibig sabihin, hindi na siya mandatory or a matter of right. It is now a matter of discretion by the court whether to grant it.
Yung plunder case, actually, na-file na kanina po, no? At ang sinabi dito, basahin ko lang itong statement ng Office of the Ombudsman after ng filing. Ang sabi dito kasi, the evidence includes 3 cash donations totaling to 75 million pesos, undeclared in Senator Sal-en and campaign finance report. This leaves our office no discretion to look away. Okay? The senator has publicly confirmed receiving money and they can be stipulated on the onset of trial. What remains question is, next dito, ang sinabi din niya, nag-mention din daw ng termino itong si Senador Marcoleta na utang na loob. Pero para sa kaalaman ng lahat, para mahimay natin, sa plunder law, ano ba yung mga paglabag, no, na maikukonsidera na plunder, attorney?
Yes, ganito po yan. Ang plunder law natin under Republic Act 7080, no, it is committed kasi when ang public officer nag-accumulate, no, nag-amass siya ng ill-gotten wealth amounting to at least 50 million, no, through a combination or series of overt criminal acts. So kung titingnan natin yung 75 million na donation sa kanya, pumasok doon sa threshold na 50 million. Pero yung 50 million na amount is very important, no, pero threshold lang yan siya ng ating plunder law, no. So ang prosecution, kailangan po nila establish na ombudsman na ito pong wealth na ito o ito pong nakuha na pera ni Marcoleta was acquired through one of the unlawful acts listed in the plunder law. And I understand that what they are trying to prove is yung indirect bribery, no? So it means that yung theory nila na kapag yung 75 million was acquired through indirect bribery, then kailangan po yung batas na yan, yung batas ng indirect bribery under the revised penal code must be proven. Yan po yung tinatawag natin na predicate crime. Hindi po mag-exit sa plunder kung hindi po na-violate yung nasa listahan ng plunder law natin kung ano-ano po yung mga kaso na nagawa or nakamit at umabot po sa 50 million threshold, no? So, kung wala pong indirect bribery here, yung plunder charge against Marcoleta will not hold any water. So with that, hihimay-himayin po natin yung elemento ng indirect bribery para tingnan natin kung may indirect bribery o tumabot ng 50 million, plunder siya. Yan. Sa batas natin, Article 211 of the Revised Penal Code, yung elements po ng indirect bribery, number 1, the offender is a public officer. Okay, pasok si Marcoleta dahil congressman siya at the time. Number 2, the offender accepts a gift. Okay, pasok din kasi may donation nga na natanggap. And number 3, the gift is given by reason of his office. Yun ang mga elemento na yun, ang problematic sa stand ng mga prosecution. Kasi, how can they prove that it was given na by reason of his office? Ibig sabihin, meron po siyang pagtanggap ng pera na meron pong kapalit. Parang sort of saying, no? Because the gift must be given by reason of this office. Ito pong lahat ng element na ito must concur. Kapag isa ay wala nito, then the crime does not exist. Kung walang indirect bribery, wala pong plunder case, no? So ano po ba ibig sabihin ng by reason of his office, Admar? Yung by reason of his office means that the public office itself must be the reason why the gift was given. Dahil congressman siya, binigyan siya, at yun pong posisyon niya doon as a congressman, meron po siyang, yung nagbigay is may mapatanggap po siya na benefit from that is the meaning ng by reason of his office. The office must be the legal cause of the transfer. Yan po yung heart, no, of indirect bribery. Without this element, the law cannot punish the acceptance of the gift under the revised penal code article 211.
So hindi nagtatapos doon sa pagtanggap.
Hindi.
Dapat merong pagtanggap tapos merong matatanggap yung nagbigay ng
Yes.
in return doon sa pagbibigay
Yes.
mo ng ano.
Yes po. Kasi ang nangyari niyan is binigay dahil congressman ka. At dahil noon is that meron akong ma-expect na ma-receive sa'yo. So actually, napanood ko yung statement ni Clabano, yung spokesperson, na this is the first time ng private funds, no? Kasi they are trying to say conflict of interest, no? So ibig sabihin, para me, nabibend na naman ang law sa pag-i-interpret nito. Remember, yung campaign funds po are given by reason of candidacy. Hindi po siya given by reason of the office. Campaign contributions are fundamentally different, no? Ito ay binigay po to support election activities, no? Ang purpose is to fund advertisement, rallies, campaign logistics, and other lawful political activities, no? So, the reason for the donation is in fact not the office na congressman siya. The reason is the campaign. Paano magkaroon ng plunder niyan? So, since the money is given because the person is running for office or seeking re-election, so this makes the transaction electoral in character. Kaya nga, nung nag-decision ng COMELEC on this point, and wala naman nakitang violation, dapat na-respeto na po ng ombudsman yon. So, ibig sabihin, the third element here has failed, no? And because this is truly campaign money po, Admar.
Opo, kumbaga parang wala din siyang mali siya kasi nagbayad pa ng donor's tax.
Yes, even if sasabi nila after the fact daw yun siya, hindi pa rin yun siya ang punto doon. But the fact is that it is not already within the domain of yung plunder case, no? Siguro may ibang mga violation about dun sa mga ibang bagay, but not here, not plunder case. It cannot be the plunder, it cannot be plunder. Kasi in the first place nga, as a predicate crime ng indirect bribery, wala po yun.
Pero, attorney, once ba na nailabas na ng Sandigan Bayan ang kaso or naipausad na doon ng ombudsman papunta sa Sandigan Bayan, nag-file na doon sa Sandigan Bayan, automatic ba na may warrant na yan?
No. Ito maganda ngayon sa ating rules of criminal procedure, which I behoove the Sandigan Bayan to take into consideration. You see, before the issuance of a warrant of arrest, the Sandigan Bayan is required to determine whether or not there is a probable cause to issue it. Now, it can motu proprio dismiss the case upon finding na ang criminal information is defective and there is no reason for the issuance of a warrant of arrest kasi nga walang probable cause for plunder. Hindi po yan siya motu proprio. Although, 95% all the time, kapag may pinail po ang DOJ, for example, sa regular courts, no, sa aming experience, is that issue kagad yan ng warrant of arrest. Parang, okay, the clerk of court, parang it's a ministerial process na nangyayari, no? Diyan, papabayaan na lang po mag-file na motion to quash later on ang defense and everything. But here, it has reached a certain yung magnitude wherein alam na ng Sandigan Bayan ito na pinag-uusapan na ito, siyempre because of the rally ng INC, tapos yung mga reklamo sa social media. So, ibig sabihin, it has gained so much importance at saka yung natapon po ang issue sa public, no? So, they will be careful in determining on whether or not to issue a warrant of arrest. No? So, I think that it behooves upon them na dapat talagang check nila kung talaga bang may probable cause to issue this warrant of arrest. Otherwise, kung wala, then they have to deny it and probably dismiss the plunder. Ibig sabihin po kasi, hindi man automatic tatanggapin niya, no? It would be the court itself, motu proprio can do it. No? Kasi ganyan po ang dapat na sa rules of court, no? Sa criminal procedure.
Pero, pagpalagay natin na merong lumabas na arrest warrant po, attorney, ilang buwan o taon ba bago ma-resolve yung kaso na yan? Pag umusad-usad na yung maglalatagan na yung trial na. Kasi Lunes na po yung impeachment trial mag-uumpisa.
Yes.
And
Yes.
posibleng umabot ng hanggang February. Baka naman yung kaso na kinaharap ni Marcoleta, kung sakaling merong warrant of arrest niya na lalabas, baka natapos na yung impeachment trial, baka hindi pa tapos yung kanyang trial.
Totoo po yan. Because actually, ang proceedings po ng korte, merong time, no? At saka, considering the fact na marami silang hini-hear na ibang cases na i-file sa kanila, it may take time to resolve that, no? I think it may take months, no? Kasi depende po sa arguments ng mga abogado ni Marcoleta. Kasi, number one, if they will file a motion to quash, but before filing a motion to quash, kailangan mo na siya mag-surrender or dapat ma-aresto siya para maka-acquire ng jurisdiction po yung korte. Otherwise, any motions that will be filed, hindi po yan papakinggan, no? Because how can we hear when you are not yet in the jurisdiction of the court? So, ang mangyayari niyan is that surrender sila, kulong muna siya, then file a motion to quash. Of course, the prosecution would also fight it out. No, it is not quashable. So, kailangan po, meron talagang matibay na reason sa pag-file ng motion to quash para ma-immediately resolve. Yan ang pinakamabilis, no? And I think it may be resolved in, opinion ko lang to, siguro in a month's time. Pero tatakbo na ang impeachment proceedings ni BP Inday. Marami na siyang hindi na masalihan doon. Now, another remedy ginagawa yung iba is that pag once na na-arrest na or nag-surrender, mag-file sila ng tatawag na petition for bail. Matagal yan. Kasi kung mag-file sila ng petition for bail, mag-hearing. You have to present evidence. Ang prosecution will be presenting evidence. And magko-cross-examine. Parang nagkaroon ng trial proceeding ba for purposes of determination on whether or not i-grant ang bail. Take note that even if it is a non-bailable offense, when the evidence of guilt is not strong, the accused may file a petition for bail. Ibig sabihin, hindi na siya mandatory or a matter of right. It is now a matter of discretion by the court whether to grant it. So, in involving cases on non-bailable offenses, kung wala namang charges na tama, file sila ng petition for bail. However, tatagal yun bago i-determine, no? So, ang tingin ko, ang pinaka-fastest way would be a motion to quash the criminal information, no? Dahil walang plunder charge, no? And that would take about a month's time or pinakamabilis yun para to resolve. Kaya nga sabi ko, muna yung kaso na hindi siya makapag-participate